Now that we know how to get students into our class using Smart Learning Suite Online while we're delivering lessons live remotely, let's take a look at some of the activities that students can participate in while we are delivering this lesson. So the first thing I'm going to do is add an activity, okay? I'm going to start with content that I already have created. I actually have a PDF file that I want to utilize called Ben's Bedroom. Now this is a worksheet, and it was originally a PNG file, a PNG file, and I just turned it into a PDF file. And then of course it will upload, and I can turn it into a digital worksheet by converting it to an activity. And I can use the button down in the bottom middle. Now, one of the great things about delivering a live lesson while students are participating remotely utilizing their device, like an iPad or a Chromebook or mom and dad's laptop, however they're participating. Not only can I do an individual handout activity, which would make this a worksheet that they could interact with, either typing or writing using ink or adding pictures, but I can also make it a collaborative workspace activity. Now, anything that's collaborative that requires multiple students, I can only utilize when I'm delivering it live. But this is a great way to do some group work while my students are in my class live. So I'm going to turn this into a collaborative workspace activity. Now, instead of everybody working on that worksheet at their own pace or individually, I would now put them into groups when I'm delivering it, and they could live work together in groups. Now, not only can I turn that PDF file or that worksheet into a collaborative activity, I can also do something called a shout it out. Now, a shout it out is kind of like a formative assessment, but rather than physically saying something out loud, it allows them to type or text in their answer. So I might want to do a shout it out, for example, as my bell ringer to start off our time together. Now, just a quick note for you, anything that says student devices required, so shout it out, you'll see response says devices required. If I click on my game-based activities and I look through all the various games that I have, you'll see Teen Quiz and Monster Quiz say devices required. Anything that says devices required is a great option for me to utilize when I'm delivering a live lesson like this, because it means multiple students work together in a group, and we have to be live all together at the same time in order to do that. So for this example, we did the shout it out, which is a formative assessment option. Now let's take a look at response. Let's say I want to do a multiple choice question. Now, this particular activity, Ben's Bedroom, is around B, the letter B. So let's say another B word is, and then I fill in my answers. So boy, dog, door, and cat, okay? And then you'll see I can add other questions. I could add images if I wanted to. I can change the question type, and then I click next and finish. And now I've asked a response question, and this is an actual summative summative assessment. So it's going to collect my data for me, okay? Now let's take a look at some of the other types of activities we can add. Like I could add a YouTube video, for example. Since we're doing B words, I can simply search for a B words video. Now, of course, you're always going to want to watch the video before you paste it. And if you have a YouTube video that you know you want to use, you could simply copy and paste that link there and search for it. And as long as it fits the safe search parameters, it will appear. Okay, so you'll see my pages over here are simply drag and drop. So my bell ringer is a shout it out, and I'm going to ask my kids while we're live together, hey, what is a B word? Tell me your favorite B word. Then we're going to watch a video. Then they're going to do a collaborative activity and then a summative assessment. And just that quickly, I've taken an individual worksheet and I've turned it into a multi-page lesson. So let's take a look at what it looks like for my students while I'm delivering it. Now remember, we're already in my class over in my incognito window, okay? So from my teacher dashboard, I'm going to click Start. And then I'm going to go to my incognito window and see what my students see. So my students see, hey, your teacher isn't running this activity yet. So let's pop over and click Start, okay? Now my students, if we were all in here live, of course, I would be delivering the lesson. You would be able to hear my voice just like you can now, right? So, hey guys, I hope everybody's doing well. Tell me something that you can see right now in a room, in the room you're in, that starts with the letter B. So your students simply type in their answer and click Send. Now, I'm going to pop back over to the teacher screen and look what you'll see. Christy answered book. And as answers roll in, you can scroll through those utilizing the arrows in the bottom. Okay. Now, when my teacher goes to the next page, you'll see on the student page, I follow right along. And now I have a video. And each student has their own video. So you can take time to watch the video, talk about what you see in the video, et cetera, et cetera. Now, as the teacher, I'm going to the next page, and this time we're going to utilize a workspace. So I click on Setup, and all of my students who are currently in my class, I would be able to choose how many teams I want them to be on. Of course, there's only one person in my class now, so we're going to put everyone on one team. And you'll see what happens on my student side is now your kids have the inking capability where they can write on the page, they can erase, they can insert images, and they can type text. Now, because you're in a workspace, if I had multiple students in this workspace, everybody's work would appear at the same time. So you really need to norm the use of that workspace so people aren't erasing each other's work. But you really want them to be able to work together collaboratively. So that's how the workspace works. Now, on my teacher screen, if I go to the next page and I click Start Response, because this, remember, is our summative assessment. You'll see on my student page, another B word is, and I'm going to say boy, and then I'm going to submit my answers. And then if I go back to my teacher screen, I can see everyone has answered. So I can end that activity and review the answers. And just that quickly, we turned a single digital worksheet into a true activity, a true lesson with a video, with formative assessments, summative assessments, and collaborative activities that teachers can deliver live while they're spending time with students in a distance learning environment.